Germany's auto industry is in freefall. Production has collapsed. Some plants are running at a quarter of capacity, and the country's iconic car makers are cutting jobs, closing lines, and facing a slow-motion disintegration of the model that once made Germany an industrial superpower. But a new plan could be emerging. The goal is to rewire Germany's economy for a new era of military production. That means transforming its car factories into weapons factories. And what's taking shape, quietly but rapidly, is the birth of a new kind of German power, built on the export of tanks, missiles, and sophisticated defense systems. For decades, Germany's economy has been defined by its automotive sector. It employed millions, dominated exports, and symbolized post-war prosperity. But the wheels are now coming off. German car production is down nearly 30% since its peak in 2011, an output loss of over 1.8 million vehicles by the end of last year. The once mighty factories of Wolfsburg, Saarlouis, and Dresden are now downsizing or shutting down altogether. Nearly 100,000 jobs are at risk as higher production costs and competition from China have hammered the sector. By comparison, Germany's defense industry is small, but it's expanding fast. German arms exports hit a record 13.2 billion euros last year. That's still tiny compared to the scale of Germany's auto industry, but the foundations for rapid growth are already in place. Germany holds a leading position in key land systems, from infantry fighting vehicles and tanks to other armored platforms. And its shipyards dominate the global market for non-nuclear submarines. Orders for these systems are now stacked years into the future, with shipbuilders like ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems booked solid through to the early 2040s. As a result, Germany's biggest defense contractors are experiencing turbocharged growth. Rheinmetall, Germany's largest defense firm, is hiring thousands, and its share price has more than tripled. Other German defense champions, including Hensoldt, Renk, and TKMS, are seeing similar booms. And there's one simple reason: demand is soaring. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has sent European militaries scrambling to rearm. Conflict is rising globally, and countries from Ukraine to Egypt to South Korea want German-made equipment. So here's the new equation. Germany has overcapacity in autos and undercapacity in defense. The solution? Rewire the industrial base. Leading lights in the German economy, such as Deutsche Bank, are now openly calling for it. Why not use empty car factories to build weapons, shift workers from automotive lines to missile systems, turn post-industrial decline into military revival? Some of these conversions are already delivering results. Hensoldt, maker of the TRML-4D radar now used by Ukrainian forces, is working to double annual production from about 15 units to as many as 30, and is bringing in 200 skilled workers from Bosch and Continental to boost its workforce. Rheinmetall is repurposing 2 automotive plants to focus on defense gear, and is also in talks to take on another 100 employees from Continental. It's no exaggeration to say this marks the beginning of a structural transformation, one that could define Germany's economy for decades. And these early factory conversions are just the first wave. Germany's leading defense industry group, the BDSV, now wants to take the model economy-wide, pushing beyond cars into steel, construction, and machine tools to scale military production to new heights. Crucially, the BDSV's ambitions are being given a big lift by the public sector. Germany's new government has pledged to drastically increase defense spending. In Brussels, the EU is helping to marshal 800 billion euros into European rearmament. But there are barriers. Workers need security clearances that can take months. New skills in areas like AI and electronic warfare require targeted retraining. And labor laws must adapt to allow for sectoral shifts. Policy experts and industry leaders alike are now pushing the government to act, calling for more flexible labor rules, quicker vetting processes, and subsidies to help displaced car workers move into defense. This is because the ultimate prize is enormous. If Germany lifts its defense spending to just 3% of GDP, economists estimate it could create around 245,000 new jobs and generate 42 billion euros a year in production and service activity. Today, the defense industry directly employs around 60,000 people, just a fraction of the auto sector, which means there's enormous headroom for expansion. If even a portion of the auto sector is successfully redirected, Germany's defense industry could grow fivefold by the end of the decade. Already, Rheinmetall expects to double its revenue by 2027, and Deutsche Bank now openly projects 170 billion euros in new defense spending over just the next 3 years. Even Germany's defense minister, Boris Pistorius, has sent a clear signal. In an interview with the FT, he declared it's time to deliver. He wasn't just talking about policy, he's now drafting a long-term acquisition plan to guarantee defense contracts well into the 2030s for submarines, fighter jets, tanks, and drones. For Germany's arms makers, it's a historic commitment. Stable orders, long production runs, and the confidence to invest at scale. Of course, retooling the economy means selling the output, and that's where the second shift comes in. Germany's arms export policy has flipped. Just a few years ago, Berlin blocked weapons sales to Saudi Arabia and Turkey over human rights concerns. Even Eurofighter sales got vetoed. Allies like the UK were furious. But now the gates are open. Germany has approved 150 Iris-T missiles for Riyadh, it's greenlit the sale of 40 Eurofighters to Turkey, and it's tearing up old red lines in the name of strategic alignment and industrial need. The government's line is clear. If Germany wants to be a serious defense power and keep its factories running, it has to sell, and it has to sell everywhere. From NATO allies to regional powers, Germany is seeking out new markets for its defense products and aligning policy to unlock them. This is no longer about ethics, it's about economics, influence, and scale. Behind all of this is a deeper wager that military production can become the next great pillar of German industry, that a country known for Volkswagens and precision gearboxes can rebrand itself as Europe's arms workshop. There are obstacles: export controls, workforce retraining, industrial conversion, but the momentum is building. EU leaders are pushing for a Buy European strategy. There's even precedent. Germany's post-war Wirtschaftswunder was built on repurposed war industries. Now, in a strange reversal, it may be building a war economy from the ashes of its peacetime one. The stakes are huge. Germany could become the arsenal of Europe, or it could burn billions chasing an industrial fantasy. Either way, the era of moral caution is over. The age of military capitalism is here, and Germany, reluctantly, urgently, is getting back in the game.